Hey, my feel good friends. This week's minisode is a little bit different and I could not be more excited. Last week, my friend Melissa Harstein, who you may recognize from episode 44 of the Feel Good Social podcast and this week's episode 61 of the Feel Good Social podcast, she messaged me on Instagram. She sent me a voice message and she asked me a question about how she can best show up on the platform in the most valuable way for her business that's going to get her the best results in a way that she feels most comfortable. How can she do that and not go crazy and not lose her mind? Basically was her question. You'll hear it in a little bit because for today's minisode, I actually asked Mel if I could reshare the voice message that she sent me and my reply to her on Instagram. And I just think it's so much fun. And honestly, I kind of want to turn this into a minisode series, my friends. So exciting news. If you have any burning questions when it comes to marketing, social media, business in general, anything like that, I would absolutely love to share your question on the Feel Good Social podcast. If you want to be featured, all you have to do is connect with me on Instagram at Feel Good Social. Just give me a follow, then send me a voice message introducing yourself and ask your question. I am so excited to connect with you. I'm so excited to answer your burning questions. And I know if you have a burning question, other Feel Good listeners are probably asking themselves that same dang thing. Okay. So I would absolutely love to connect with you. Send me a voice message, send me your questions at Feel Good Social on Instagram, and you could possibly be featured on the Feel Good Social podcast. You probably will, let's be honest. I absolutely love getting all of your questions, guys. And voice messages are so much fun. So for today's minisode, you are about to hear Mel message me in the DMs on Instagram asking this awesome question that I'm sure all of you are asking as well. And you'll hear my response to how you can use social media in the most valuable and least time-consuming way for your business. I hope that you enjoy this first voice memo minisode, my friend, and I hope that we can connect on Instagram at Feel Good Social. And if you have any burning questions, voice message me there. You could be featured on the next voice memo minisode. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hey friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I'm here to help you market your business in a genuine way that works without wasting your precious time. On this show, we chat about social media strategy and mindset tips with a focus on, you guessed it, feeling good. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some genuine conversation for the good of your biz. Do you know what your brand vibe is on Instagram? I have a new fun quiz that's just for you, my friend. I, of all people, know how hard it is to figure out how the heck you're supposed to translate your brand to the gram. And with this quick 7-question quiz, we will help you hone in on your brand's personality, voice, and visuals so that you can show up consistently and create content that looks beautiful and feels on brand for you. This quiz is so awesome. It's been a long time coming, and I know that you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Plus, the results will help you show up in the best way for you. If you'd like to check out our new brand vibe quiz, just head to feelgoodsocial.com/quiz. Pretty easy. Head to feelgoodsocial.com/quiz to find out what your brand's vibe is on social media and start showing up there for your brand.
Hey friend, I have a social media question that I would love your thoughts on. Not only for me, but maybe for a future Instagram story or podcast episode or something, because I have a feeling there's a lot of people who probably have this question. So, we hear the advice that you don't have to be on all the marketing channels, like pick one, go all in, whatever. Okay, I agree with that. I get it. But even within one marketing channel like Instagram, which is what I've chosen, there are so many opportunities to do so many different things. There is the feed, there's stories, there's reels, there's Instagram live TV videos, all the stuff, right? And I feel like with my personality, some of those things I just mentioned are better suited to me and my business than others. Here's where my real struggle is. I feel like I do best. What feels good to me and what I think is getting results is, posting on stories and engaging in other people's content and talking in the DMs. Like that just fits me. The challenge is that I feel like I need to constantly be putting out new content on the newsfeed for the sake of A, attracting new people, and B, showing that I'm active. Because I feel like that's one of those markers that people look at when they first join a page. Like they don't go instantly to stories or whatever, right? They just want to know, are you posting recent content on the feed? That's like a marker of like, is your business actually active and engaged and involved? So anyways, I just would love to hear your thoughts about what does it look like to use one channel, specifically Instagram, in a way that feels good to you and fits your audience? And is it really necessary to be constantly putting out new content in the feed? And if so, what would you recommend as far as how many times a week or a month or whatever? Like, what's a baseline of putting stuff out in the feed if you're kind of diving all in somewhere else, whether it be stories, DMs, engagement, whatever?
Hello, my love. Okay, thanks. As soon as I got your message, I was like, this is awesome. I can't wait to answer her. But my dog was feeling all like sick last night. I don't know what's going on with poor Tark. But when it comes to that, I love that you brought this up. This is like one of those things that has been popping up a lot lately for me, I feel like, because I don't know if you follow Jasmine Star. I'm sure you do, but like she's been kind of really bothering me lately because she's been pushing. I usually agree with her for the most part on most of her things, but like she's been really pushing like show up everywhere, create content machine. And I'm like, what are you like? No, people don't have time for that. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a good thing for me because it's like awesome. Well, this is how I differentiate myself and like the polarizing ideas and all those things. But yeah, I don't think you need to be spending time showing up on all the platforms. You already know this. And I feel like I love that you brought up this point about how exactly like that's kind of why Instagram is my favorite platform and my go-to platform for most people, because most people are there. It does give you the opportunity to show up in a lot of different ways. But exactly what you're saying, like, yeah, Instagram can feel super overwhelming when it comes to all the different features, right? And it's feeling like multiple platforms within one platform at this point, which is kind of funny. This is totally a podcast episode. Actually, I'm going to ask you a question about that at the end. But yeah, like when it comes to showing up on Instagram, I actually just had this conversation with my other client who her reels are killing it. And she's like, ooh, reels do take me a lot of time, but that they're like performing really, really well for her, right? So that was kind of the conversation we had is like, what in the platform really lights you up? What do you enjoy doing? And then also, what do you see great results from? And what does your audience respond to? And then weighing the amount of time and energy you spend creating that sort of content versus the results that you're getting, right? So long story short, to answer your question, I don't necessarily think that you need to be showing up using all of the stinking features that Instagram gives you, especially in the beginning when you're just figuring out your flow. I feel like you should I think consistency is queen when it comes to social media, right? Like showing up consistently for you, that doesn't necessarily mean every day, but at least 3 times a week, showing up in some way on the platform. And so what feature of the platform feels the best for you? What do you enjoy doing the most? What can you show up with excitement and energy? And also, what are you seeing results from? What is your audience responding to? Weighing those options, whatever is the best for you, lean into that. But to answer your question about stories versus feed posts, I do think that that is kind of a difference, right? Your feed posts live on your grid forever. And so it is one way for people to gauge your activity. So long story short, what I would recommend is I think that we need to be trying to post at least
3 times a week in a way that lasts on the platform, right? So your stories don't last, but stories do get a lot of great engagement. But the nice thing is that all of these different ways that last forever, feed posts with just a regular photo and caption, reels last forever, IG lives last forever. Like these things can be planned out in advance for the most part. I guess IG lives don't, but IG lives too. If you lean into that, it's like pretty easy to just show up, put it out there. Cool. It is what it is, you know, but I think that it's a good idea to show up at least 3 times a week in a way that lasts on the platform. And then you can lean into your Instagram stories for the rest of the time. But the nice thing is that if you think about just showing up 3 times a week, you can batch plan that out. So you could just create 12 posts that are kind of like evergreen content, right? That you don't necessarily have to worry about, is this going to be right in the moment and stuff like that. 12 evergreen posts. And so if you could even break that down into like, okay, there's going to be 3 client testimonials. There's going to be 3 tips and facts and quotes posts. There's going to be 3 product feature posts and then 3 personal story posts. You just write those out at the beginning of the month. You schedule them to go out. And then for the rest of the month, you can like lean into the Instagram stories and you don't have to worry. You're like, I know I'm showing up consistently and all that stuff, but now I can lean into the stories, the behind the scenes content, the engagement, all of that stuff that really makes a difference.
Oh my gosh, you really have a knack for making social media feel simple. But what I was going to say as far as just how you helped me in your messages, number one, you made it sound so simple and easy, just saying, hey, show up 3 times a week in a way that lasts. That makes so much sense to me. If you're not already using that phrase in some of your marketing and stuff, I think you should use that, show up 3 times a week in a way that lasts, because that makes so much sense. Number 2, the other thing that you said that was just super simple and easy to understand and makes things seem easy is 12 posts, 3 testimonials, 3 tips, 3 about me, 3 services, right? Like that feels so doable. Just you saying that is like a huge stress relief and just feels so much easier to me. So thank you for sharing that.
All right, my friend, did you enjoy our first Voice Memo Minisode? If you did, I would love to hear from you, or if you didn't, hey, let me know. If this wasn't something that was helpful for you, we don't have to do these Voice Memo Minisodes anymore, but I'm kind of excited about it, and I hope you are too. Again, if you have a burning question about marketing, social media, entrepreneurship, anything at all, connect with me on Instagram at feelgoodsocial. Send me a DM, introduce yourself, then send me a voice memo of your question, and I'll go ahead and slap you on one of the upcoming Voice Memo Minisodes, okay? I hope that you have a wonderful week, my friend, and I will catch you next time I catch you. Thanks so much for listening, my friend. For show notes and a whole lot of other awesome freebies, visit feelgoodsocial.com. Simply go to feelgoodsocial.com for all the goods.